Flash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, and social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh, and we got a lot to talk about. Starting off with news on Monday. Breaking news, Monday, July 8th, around 3:30 p.m., the West Bloomfield Police Department received a phone call about a ruptured gas line. They caused a, quote, significant gas leak, end quote, in the area of Maple Road and Stonebridge Boulevard. That's near the Farmington Road intersection, if you aren't familiar. Now, the rupture allegedly occurred as work was being done in the area by a few landscapers, so it was done by accident. Allegedly, the rupture, I should say, police immediately responded, closing local roadways and alerting the community. Crews have continued working on site since the incident, and motorists have been strongly encouraged to avoid the area at all costs until an all clear has been given from repair work. Joining us now talking about what happened is Lieutenant Todd Metcalf in the West Bloomfield Police Department. First and foremost, thank you so much for joining us, Lieutenant. And can you just describe the initial response from WBPD with this gas line rupture?
Good morning, Kevin. Thanks for having me on. Apparently about 3:30 yesterday, you're correct. We were dispatched to that location, Maple, and Thornberry Apartments is right there, due to a strong odor of gas. And upon arrival, it was immediately noticed that a gas line had been broken. A landscaping company is allegedly responsible for this right now. Consumers was called, and they came out and tried to patch it up within 5 hours, but both attempts failed. So as of right now, this morning, they're still working on it, and it is still closed down.
So we're glad that you all responded so fast, so efficiently with this. And can you just talk about what other steps have been taken to kind of notify the community? Obviously, we're doing our job here on the Splash Live. What other steps have been taken from WBPD?
Well, keep an eye on our social media, our Facebook posts. We will be vigilant on that throughout the day to see if we can, we'll update that as soon as we know more. NICSA alerts are being sent out. As soon as we get an update, I think one was sent out this morning stating that it was closed. And definitely we were trying to get a lane open today, but as of right now, it's not going to happen. And unfortunately, just those are the options that we have. We'll just keep posting as soon as we hear anything.
So are there any other safety protocols put into place for the local residents of that area within that immediate vicinity?
Not of right now. I think it is shut down. There is, I'm assuming, I did not hear any updates, but I believe there's no major leak right this second, just about patching it up. So just motorists, I know it's challenging right now, especially with Commerce Road also being closed, east and westbound, for the next week. So east and westbound traffic is not going to be easy through West Bloomfield and Orchard Lake. So do the best you can. And like I said, as of right now, the area is okay for citizens.
Right. And joining us right here on the Splash Live, Lieutenant Todd Metcalf from the West Bloomfield Police Department talking about the gas line rupture in West Bloomfield that's shutting down local road. Now, do you have any advice for detours to kind of avoid that, to still kind of get local commuters on their drive?
Well, I experienced it on the way in. People are using Walnut Lake Road, which is 16-mile, and 14-mile road is also open. So people are using that. I saw the backups there. It's going to be difficult, and but those are the two options. They're the best options right now to use.
Lieutenant, if you don't mind, are there any measures that will be taken in the future to kind of prevent similar incidents like this, or anything that the police department has learned from this incident so far?
As of right now, we're brainstorming, but as companies that specialize in digging, they are supposed to take measures on their own by contacting places like Missa Dig and checking with the local areas and seeing where these lines are. So I don't know exactly what did or didn't happen out there, but that's still being looked into right now.
Great point, great point. Lastly, just coming up, what's very, very important is that you all were notified immediately. So can you just talk about the process of how you all were just notified and how important it is for people to call you all or any other authority in place for situations like this?
Yeah, we received many 911 calls, and it was very apparent. I have Ring doorbells at home, and even the Ring system, the network there was passing word along that there's a strong odor of gas in this area. So whenever you smell anything, don't hesitate. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So give us a call, and we'll be more than happy to come out and take a look. But this was an obvious one. It didn't take very long once we got out there, and obviously the crew was out there too, I think, to help point out the area.
Hey, Lieutenant, I know this is an ongoing situation, and we appreciate your time for even being here and providing us an update. Thank you again, Lieutenant Todd Metcalf, West Bloomfield Police Department, giving us an update on the gas line rupture in the area of Maple Road and Stonebridge Boulevard near the Farmington Road intersection. We appreciate your time, Lieutenant.
Thank you, Kevin. Have a great day.
Absolutely. You too have a better one. As it is an ongoing situation, as we are currently here, we will continuously keep you updated with everything going on with that. And you can follow the West Bloomfield Police Department on Facebook, by the way, at West Bloomfield PD for more information also. Since we are on the topic of road closures, Commerce Road remains closed now through Monday, July 15th, by the way. Oakland County Water Resources Commission will be doing sewer and manhole cover repairs. Orchard Place residents will only be able to access their subdivision through the east entrance. That'll be pretty much the same for Dow Ridge and Three Lakes residents. You'll have access from the east, but Bayshore and Commerce addresses west of the closure will have access from the west. And it's a lot going on. Orchard Lake Police Department says drivers should use Hiller Road to Cooley Lake Road to Cass Elizabeth Road to Cass Lake Road to Orchard Lake Road as an alternative route. I know that seems like a lot. Make it easier on yourself. Go directly to the Facebook page of Orchard Lake Police. There's just Orchard Lake Police on Facebook. Search it so you can get all the information that you need in regards to that. Now, with important elections coming up, any information people receive about their candidates is very, very crucial. And any chance for those candidates to share their visions for the future is just as important. In a recent open forum with the League of Women's Voters helped to provide a clear and fair platform for everyone to get the information that they need. And we sent our very own Jake Schaff out to hear what some of the voters actually had to say.
2024 is a crucial year when it comes to elections. And if you want to make a difference in your community, it's important to have all of the information. And the West Bloomfield League of Women Voters is doing their part to keep their community informed with a recent open forum debate inviting candidates from several crucial upcoming elections to speak their minds and share their policies in a clean, civil, and fair way, and to maybe turn some possible undecided voters over to their side to help them gain a little bit more traction come November.
The event taking place here is a great opportunity to hear candidates answer specific questions in a civilized forum. Everybody gets asked the same question. Everybody has the same amount of time to answer. We have a hard and fast rule that there is no calling of names or bringing up other people in your answer, so you can't disparage other candidates. You're supposed to talk about what you would do. And I've seen them stop an event when people were disparaging other candidates.
Yes, and it's a nonpartisan event, so it's for Democrats, Republicans, and it's just to get to know your candidates that are going to be on the ballot, and that's really important for you to help you make your decision.
When you have major events, people get aroused and get riled up sometimes. So I think that a more civic or civil event like this is good, very personal. one up and be able to talk to each one of the candidates personally, I think is better than standing just in a big rally.
I think that there's a lot riding on this election, not only from like a presidential standpoint, but specifically local. I mean, You talk about the local, and sometimes people tend to downplay that, but actually local is very vital. So I think being able to actually be in an environment where we get to see them face to face is a huge deal.
It's very important for voters to see and understand where candidates stand on positions. This is not about politics. It's about policies that are being enacted that affect every single one of our lives. And for people to try to stay home in this election is not an option this time. Fill up your gas tank, go to the grocery store, look at your taxes. There is so much at stake with all of these things escalating, with inflation off the charts. It's time for people, the way that we can make a difference is by getting out and voting.
What are some of the biggest things you hope that the visitors take away after coming here tonight?
I hope they take away that being involved in democracy matters. I don't want to call it a sport, but if we want a good democracy, we have to participate and we have to step up. And these are ways you can do it, and it's not painful.
Yeah. And everybody's voice counts, and people should use their voice. It's important to get what they believe in, the things that they feel they need.
With several debates over the last few years becoming more intense and combative, it's nice to see forums such as these where everything gets to be fair for both the candidates and the civilians as well. Let's hope the candidates were able to get their points across tonight, and let's hope the civilians have all the information they need for when they make these crucial decisions in just a few months. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Thank you for that story. By the way, if you want to keep up with that community forum and all the information that they shared during that League of Women's Voters forum, it's all on our website. Go to civiccentertv.com and click on the On Demand tab for all of the clips. And if you're watching on Civic Center TV right now, you can see the QR code. Take your phone, scan that QR code with the photo app, and it'll give you pop up a link where you can go directly and go to all of our links so you can check out Civic Center TV content. Now, we also like to support our local businesses, and the Small Business Administration is an organization that is here to support small business, specifically right here in West Bloomfield. So join us right here on the Splash Live. District Director for the Michigan District Office of the Small Business Administration, we have Lakita Henderson joining us. Thank you so much for being here, Lakita.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
I want you to start off by just explaining the overall support and resources that SBA has for small businesses, even specifically here in West Bloomfield.
Well, I'll let you know that the U.S. Small Business Administration Michigan District Office supports all 83 counties in the state of Michigan. Mm-hmm. And, and speaking of in Oakland County, West Bloomfield, we're here to support all small businesses. And just to give you an understanding of how our supports, we gave over $1 billion in loans to small businesses throughout the state of Michigan. We granted $1.8 billion in government contracting to small businesses. So we're here to support in terms to help you start, grow, and recover. So if you're thinking about starting a small business, mm-hmm. we can help you with that. Conceptualize the idea. Where do you want that small business to be? We can help you with the research of where should it be? Is it the right business? Mm-hmm. Should it be here? Where should the building be? To help you even figure out, is it the right business? And then once you've identified that, we can help you look into, do you have the finances for it? Or what are the steps you need to take to start that business? And then we can help you grow it and make it a successful business. Okay. And so on and so forth, because we want you to be a successful business within your community, in the West Bloomfield community, because small businesses are the community. They're the lifeblood of the community.
Correct. And I would agree with that too, especially with our community, West Bloomfield, a lot of small businesses in our area that thrive and provide a lot of jobs. Are there any specific or popular loan or grant programs that that the SBA are currently hosting right now for small businesses?
In terms of, I would say our most popular loans are our micro lenders, because many times people think about getting loans, they think about the big dollar loans. We have micro lenders who are mission-based lenders, and that average loan is $13,000. So when people think about getting loans, it doesn't have to be, our lenders they only don't loan to, you need $1 million, you need 100,000. They loan $13,000. They can loan $5,000, $10,000, just that seed money to get you started.
Right.
And typically, SBA doesn't give grants. We give grants to organizations who provide the technical assistance, the counseling to those small businesses who need that assistance to do business plans, to do those things that are needed to get in front of lenders or who need that training.
Right. And joining us right here on the Splash Live, District Director for the Michigan District Office of the Small Business Administration, Lakita Henderson, just talking about the different grants, loans, and programs and resources available through the SBA. Now, specifically here in West Bloomfield, we have small business owners from the large brick and mortars in downtown to people just starting in their basement. I know you say you have different levels, different programs. Can we just talk about at the lowest level as of right now, the beginning stage? What type of programs, resources do you have available specifically for people in West Bloomfield at that stage of their business, just starting off with the idea?
Just starting off with the idea, we have what we call resource partners. We have SCORE, Small Business Development Centers, and Women's Business Centers. If you're thinking about starting a business, you don't even have a business plan. Let's just say you don't even have a business plan. You just have an idea.
Okay.
And you want to get started. Call the Small Business Administration, because I want to get you in front of either SCORE or the Small Business Center, because we want to get you to get ready with a business plan. If you have a business plan, I want them to look at your business plan. Make sure it's a good business plan. And if not, they can help you get that business plan together. So this is a plan you can put in front of a possible lender, someone who can help get you that seed money to get that brick and mortar. To help start your business, because it all starts with your business plan. But also I want them to look at your idea and say to you, is this a good idea? And let's do a little research, because research is the key. Research is the key. Is this a good plan? And they're going to be honest with you and say, let's think this through. Let's talk about this, because you want somebody that's going to be honest with you. And who's going to tell.
And we have a lot of successful businesses currently under our Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce also. For our successful, already thriving businesses, Lakita, who are looking to continuously grow and or expand, what type of resources, programs do you have available for them?
And it's perfect, because sometimes our businesses who've been already out there, they're looking going, well, what about us? All I hear about is startups. We have growth teams. We have teams that can talk to those who've already been in business, who are looking to scale, or who are looking to just maintain but run their businesses more efficiently. We have what's called a growth team who can help. Let's look at how you're doing, but let's look at how we can do it more efficiently. Or if you're looking to grow, let's look at how we can help you grow smart. And do you want to get another location? Or are you looking to go to another state? We have a growth team. So I would say, let's get you to the Small Business Development Center and let's see how we can help you grow. So you know what, I would love to come to West Bloomfield and work with the chamber, and let's do that. Let's connect so we can get with those business owners. Let's get with the entrepreneurs, and let's get with those mid-level businesses who've been there and who've been doing it, who are just trying to figure out, okay, where do I go from here?
Right, and I want to ask you something else. I kind of just I just thought of something else from that. But just join us right here on the Splash Live, District Director for the Michigan District Office of the Small Business Administration, Lakita Henderson. Now let's look on the other side of the business, right? The side that supports the business. How does all of the support, the resource that we get from SBA to support the businesses, kind of also affects the customer side of the businesses from your perspective?
Okay. Say that again. How does
so with the businesses receiving the help and support, and they're growing, and no matter what stage of the business that they're in, they're growing with their resources and support. Can you speak to any level of feedback or that they've received from customers, or the growth that they've seen from customers based on your resources?
Well, I mean, if you're growing and your customer satisfaction is going to be seen as well, because you're going to be driving in more customers as you grow. I mean, your growth, because the satisfaction, the growth, and I'm trying to put that together. Let me see. As you, customer satisfaction will, because one thing about it is, as you're growing, customer satisfaction will actually be a part of that, because you have to understand your customer as you're growing,
right?
Because you have to be understanding your customer to grow. Because in order to grow, you have to be understanding your customer, because you can't grow without your customer. So as you're getting that feedback from your customer is the reason you're growing. You see what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
As you're growing, your customer is telling you, this is what I like,
Correct.
This is what I need. And therefore, as you continue to grow, you continually do what your customer likes.
There you go.
So as you're growing, you continue to grow and do what your customer likes. And that should drive in more customers. And your customer will continue to come. And the feedback that the customers will tell to other customers will help you to continue to grow.
There you go.
So customer satisfaction is so important. It's so important. And people who ignore their customers tend not to grow and tend not to stay in business long.
Yeah.
So definitely that's so important. And they'll learn that from the SBDC, because you have to understand your customer to continue to grow. That's so important.
Right.
And I apologize for
No.
slow on that.
I kind of worded it a little weird. Just voices in my head. I'm kind of, my
No,
mind is kind of
got
scrambled.
you.
But essentially, you answered the question: the effects that the resources have on businesses, and how that ultimately affects the community and the customers, the people. So yes, I completely understand. Since we are talking about the Small Business Administration, which is a federal organization that helps, but we're focusing right here in our small West Bloomfield area. Can you just talk about why small businesses in general are important to the federal government?
Small businesses are important to the federal government because it is actually, the Small Business Administration is actually celebrating the 71st anniversary at the end of this month on the 30th. Nice. And it was created to level the playing field. And I don't think most people realize that small businesses employ over 60% of those employed in the United States. And I think people underestimate, because when you think about employment, you think about all the Googles, the General Motors, but it is small businesses that employ. So it's so important, because they provide a large portion of the GDP in the United States. So if small businesses fail, our economy as a whole fails. So it's so important that we support them, because it is our communities that thrive on small businesses. Most of our communities employ small business employees. So that's why small businesses are so important, because if you drive around the communities, what do you see? You see small businesses.
Yeah.
You see cafes. You see bookstores. Yeah. You see everything.
Family-owned businesses, correct.
Family-owned businesses. That is what our communities thrive on. And I think most of us take that for granted. That if all of those close today, we just have a bunch of empty shells, and we don't realize that small businesses, and we keep hearing it, and we think it's a cliche, but they are the backbone of society.
No.
And that's why it is incumbent upon us to do all that we can to make sure they survive. And I don't think most people realize, though, it is our tax dollars that help support these programs. So if you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur thinking about it, keep in mind that these services that we offer, they're free.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for this counseling, or when you go to see an SBDC, or when you go see a sport, they're free because the tax dollars have already paid for this. So you don't have to
Good
worry
point.
about writing a check or coming to pay to see these services or coming to pay to see us. They've already been paid for. You've already paid for these services through your tax
Nice.
dollars. So I see myself as a fiduciary for you, for all of us who pay these services, to mind your tax dollars well, to make sure that everyone gets these services.
Good point.
And I feel pressure to make sure we're doing all we can. So yes, it's our job to make sure everyone who wants to be an entrepreneur and everyone who is an entrepreneur gets the services that they deserve. And that's why we're working hard to help those underrepresented.
Right, no,
get the-
100%, and that help is absolutely needed for the underrepresented too. Great point. And we got to wrap up, Lakita, but real quick, if you just give people where they can get more information in regards to SBA locally and helping out their West Bloomfield businesses, please.
Sure. If you can just email it, michigan@sba.gov, it goes to an email. It'll take you through some cues, but stay on, and it goes through an email, and we will get right back with you. And you can also email me at any time, Lakita.Henderson, Lakita, Laketa, .Henderson @sba.gov. I will definitely get back with you as well. And thank you again for having me on here. This was great.
No, thank you so much for your information and your resources. Once again, District Director for the Michigan District Office of the Small Business Administration, Lakita Henderson. Thank you again for your time and your information.
All right. Have a great day.
Yes, thank you. You have a better one. That's the type of things that we like to share with our community. We know there's a lot of aspiring business owners, entrepreneurs, and well-established business owners that we like to provide that information for. SBA.gov for more information. We have so much more to keep you updated on right here locally. We are live, local, and social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Sylvan Lake, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to The Splash Live.
Live, local, and social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. The Friendship Circle of Michigan's Walk for Friendship is an annual family walk that raises crucial funds and community awareness for the Friendship Circle and individuals with special needs. And joining us right here on The Splash Live, director and co-founder of the Friendship Circle, Bassie Shimtov. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Now I want to talk about this event, September 1st, Walk for Friendship event. Can you tell me what was the inspiration behind initiating this event?
So Friendship Circle is a place where we really bring out the connection and the beauty of individuals who have special needs. And we allow hundreds of teens, adults to witness and experience this friendship. So this event, the Walk for Friendship, is a time that we welcome the whole community and we say, come join us and experience what it feels like to be in a place where is open, accepting, non-judgmental, and really ultimately pure friendship, experiencing it together and sharing with the world of how we should view individuals who have special needs.
Good point. Good point. Now, this isn't the first or inaugural event, so can you just talk about how the event has evolved over the years?
Yeah, so our very first Walk for Friendship was all the way back in 2005. It was an amazing first event. We had about 600 walkers. We raised $100,000. And now this year, our goal is $1 million to raise. Ooh. And we are hoping to have close to 4,000 walkers. So it's going to be an amazing event. It is the 19th year. At the same time, it is coming up on our 30th anniversary for Friendship Circle, the founding of Friendship Circle in general. Oh. So that has been a very exciting year to work up to.
I bet, yes. Celebrating almost 20 years of the event, 30 years of the Friendship Circle. Great work, longevity. That speaks a lot to the leadership and everything going on there specifically. Now, can we get into a little bit more details? We're walking, we're fundraising. What can people literally expect when they show up to support this event?
So, I mean, we have so many teams already and individual fundraisers. You could come to walkforfriendship.org and you could sign up as a free registered walker. We want everyone to be able to join this free, great, amazing event. Awesome food. We're having a concert with Nissan Black. He's a phenomenal rapper. Nice. And then we have all of these rides and activities, free food, T-shirts. Everybody gets a free T-shirt. So you could go to walkforfriendship.org. Please register. We want every walker. We want everybody to be included. And then, of course, please, you could set up a page and try to fundraise. Every dollar counts. And that all happens on friendshipcircle.org.
Absolutely. Right here on the Splash Live, join us, director and co-founder from the Friendship Circle, Bassie Shimtoff, talking about the Walk for Friendship event September 1st. Now, I kind of want to be a little bit more clear on this, right? So Walk for Friendship, we're raising money. There's a lot going on. We're literally walking. What's the trail for the walk? How long is the walk? Can we talk about that?
Yes. So we will be starting at the Farber Center, which is off of Drake and Walnut. And it's just over a mile walking towards to the Friendship Circles campus, which is off of Maple between Drake and Halstead. So it's September 1st. Registration is 10:30. It's just over a mile walk. And there are great festivities at the beginning and at the end.
Nice. I mean, you already said T-shirts, food, music, activities. I mean, it seemed like it's a lot going on. It's a lot for everyone, whether you want to walk or not. So any favorite memories from these events for you personally, Bassie?
This, it's one of a kind. I mean, there are not too many walks that it is free to join. And the point is, it's not about the free. It's about the environment, the energy that every single person is wanted and welcome. It is a place where you just feel like you could belong, and you do belong. Yeah. Once you're there, you're part of the community. You're part of the family, and there's an energy that you can't really describe over TV, but it's there.
See, your host, this is such a huge event. If you're watching on Civic Center TV, you can see a lot. She said 600 people at one time. We're expecting like 3,000 now. This is a huge, large-scale event. So can you just talk about the challenges that you face when setting up such an event like this?
We have hundreds of volunteers. Our entire staff is all involved, setting up for 2 days prior. It's both of our properties, so we could pre-set up. And it's very well-oiled machine by now. It is very organized and lots of work, worth it every minute of it, because again, it's not just the funds raised that is very important. Right. It is really an awareness to how to view those with special needs, not to judge by what we see on the outside, but to realize there's that potential and that beauty within.
Good point. Good point. Well said. Also, right here on the Splash Live, joining us, Bassie Shimtoff, director and co-founder of the Friendship Circle, discussing the Walk for Friendship event September 1st. Also, since we are raising funds, can you just talk about how the funds being raised actually helps programs and services from the Friendship Circle?
Yes, right now, currently, we are in the middle of a 5-week day camp for 60 individuals with special needs, 60 volunteers, and about 35 staff. This is going on right now for 5 weeks. Then we have a 2-week overnight camp. And then throughout the whole school year, whenever there is school off and children with special needs are at home, which is not easy, that's when we come into play. And we are there to support the families, be there for the children. We have sports, music, art, dance, you name it. Families can sign up their child with special needs, and that's where the dollars are going to, allowing us to be there for the families, support them as a family member, and make it all happen.
Yes, yes. I'm so glad that you're explaining that. You're letting people know that you are a resource. You are available for anyone who are experiencing, have children with special needs and things of that night, especially during the summertime when all the kids are, pretty much out. But can you just talk about any future goals for Walk for Friendship and the Friendship Circle in general in terms of growth and the impact in the community?
Every day, every year, we are working on listening to what our community needs. Currently, we have, as I mentioned, hundreds of teen volunteers. So we're also supporting them from a mental health standpoint. So when we see and hear a need of our community, we're going right along with that and expanding and creating programming that is needed. Like right now, Friendship Circle is focusing a lot also on vocational opportunities for our adults with special needs. Many of our kids are now stuck at home, not able to, what could they do when they're done school at 26? It becomes really challenging to find a good place. So thank God more things have come around the community, and Friendship Circle really is focusing as well over there where we have our Dakota Bakery, our cafe, our art studio, and we're continuing to expand new opportunities for vocational opportunities for our young adults.
I love to hear it. And we're always being an advocate for it here at the Splash Live and Civic Center, by the way. So lastly, just give out any of the important information about the event. Anyone who's interested in volunteering, please just give that out again.
Yes, thank you. If you go again to walkforfriendship.org, you could sign up as a volunteer for the walk itself. You could find our information and sign up to volunteer at Friendship Circle with a child with special needs. Please donate. Every dollar counts. And please register as a walker. For the very first year this year, we have a tracker for how many walkers are registered, and we're really trying to get 3,500 registered walkers. So please come on our website, join us, be a part of this great opportunity, and you will not regret it. It's going to be fun.
Oh, I'm so excited, and I'm happy that we are here to support it and put the word out about it. Thank you again. We appreciate your time for being here once again. Bassie Shimtoff, co-founder and director of the Friendship Circle, talking about the Walk for Friendship event September 1st. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.
Absolutely, you have a better one. So much information going on, and that is one of the many things going on locally where we can support an organization that supports people, residents in our area with special needs. Walk the number 4 friendship.com to find out more information, or .org, excuse me, for that. But there's been a recent state of Michigan budget that has been approved that affects the West Bloomfield School District educational budget plans as well. So join us right here on the Splash Live. Superintendent for West Bloomfield School District, Dr. Danya Bazzi, join us. And can you just start off by just explaining to us, how will this newly passed Michigan State education budget directly affect our students at the Greater West Bloomfield?
Well, there's a lot of positive aspects of this budget for our school district in terms of investments and things that, we all feel strongly about in terms of the meal program that allows us to provide students meals for breakfast and lunch. We know that's an important part of learning is to make sure that students are fed. There's also been, a nice investment in our preschool programming, our GSRP, which is funded at the state level, and we've seen, a nice increase to that. There's also been increases to at-risk funding, which again helps us support our students at all levels to make sure that they're successful in the classroom. So there's a lot of positive to the budget that we want to highlight and appreciate from our legislature and our senators and the governor. But there's obviously some things for the long term that I still think need to be addressed within the budget.
Of course. It's not going to be one size fits all for all problems that we're having right here in the state of Michigan. So I completely understand. But what impact do you anticipate the community college guarantee having on West Bloomfield graduates?
I think that's a great opportunity for students. Usually what sometimes acts as a barrier for students to move on to post-secondary education is that access to college. We know that costs at the community college and university level are increasing.
Correct.
So having that pipeline to be able to say that you have access to go to school, post-secondary education is a big step for the state of Michigan. But at the same time, that comes at a cost. So my focus is always going to be on K-12 education in terms of providing students the best here, but it's certainly a great opportunity for some of our students after they leave the district.
No, I understand that from your perspective. You want to make sure you're getting them prepared to go to that next step in education. Completely understand. Joining us right now on the Splash Live, Superintendent for the West Bloomfield School District, Dr. Danya Bazzi, talking about the Michigan State educational budget that was just recently passed, how it affects West Bloomfield School District. And we just talked about the free meals and things being offered. What benefits do you expect to see with its continuation?
I think, again, having that ability to ensure that students have access to meals while they're at school is really important, and we're excited about continuing that with our food service department and obviously enhancing that each year as we go by. Students are very honest with us. I usually do a meet and eat with myself and members of the Board of Education each month, where students give us their feedback, and food service tends to be a topic. So it's something that we've really been working on, and next year are excited for some changes and having student voice in that process to make sure that we're listening to our students.
Yeah, that school lunch is very, very essential. Trust me, we all get in between classes. It's a great social time, don't get me wrong, and a break from the education and whatnot, but having that great meal, especially we don't know what our children's situation is at home, so to be able to provide that great nutritional meal and adequate meal makes sense. What strategies are being implemented in West Bloomfield to adapt to the budget changes and ensure the quality of education is maintained?
I mean, there's really two things that we're focusing our efforts on, which are, one is a grant that comes from the state of Michigan, which is 31AA. And that specifically is meant to support mental health supports within the school as well as school safety. Unfortunately, in the budget, that grant was heavily reduced. I mean, to the point where that will most likely impact our services in that arena. Now, the MIPSERS funding that basically is where most school districts are receiving their funding, it's a great amount of money, and it will help us with continuing these services. The problem is it's not guaranteed for any time beyond the 24-25 fiscal year. So meaning in 25-26, there's no guarantee that MIPSERS funding is still going to be there. Now, they are trying to address this through Senate Bill 911, and basically that will ensure the stability of our retirement system and ensure the funding stays back with the district. Our funding increase this year wasn't through the traditional per pupil foundation allowance increase. That has held steady in this budget, which that's not occurred in the past 10 years, where we have not seen any increase to the foundation allowance. Now, the amount, though, is still a healthy amount that we were given this year. The problem is we need to ensure that it's guaranteed for future years, so that we can continue focusing our efforts on mental health and school safety infrastructure. So really right now, those are our two main focus areas, and what we're really trying to work with our legislature and our senators to ensure that that Senate bill is addressed.
A lot of key information and great points that you hit on. Join us right now in the Splash. Superintendent for West Bloomfield School District, Dr. Danya Bazzi, joining us. Now, since we're talking about budget, we have to talk about jobs, right? With concerns about potential future teacher layoffs, how is the district preparing to handle any staffing challenges that may arise?
We look at our budget and, we have to ensure that our spending, revenue, and expenditures line up. We have worked very hard, though, through attrition as people leave to be able to make those changes without impacting people. 85% of our budget is people, and that's because that's what we do. We're educators and we're in the business of people. So it's something that we work closely together as an administrative team and our staff to say what are the services that our students need to make sure that we're able to provide the services that we're able to that are needed to provide for our students. There will be complexities with this budget in terms of long-term sustainability. We will address those through, steady, calm leadership to make sure that our students have the very best. I will say we've been balancing it in terms of increasing our programming, even with some of our difficult financial situation that, like many schools have found. I mean, this year we're increasing our music program at the 5th grade to include choir. We've expanded our STEAM program to all K-5 elementaries across the district.
There you go.
So we're going to continue working. We've also brought kind of the push-up method in terms of our math instruction at the elementary level so that if students are advanced, they're able to move up to the grade level ahead in a very smooth process. So even with this, we're being creative as a district with our community to make sure that we're continuing to expand the offerings for our students while addressing those budgetary constraints, in the most efficient manner.
Well, let me just tell you right now, you're doing great work, Dr. Bazzi. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. Essentially, we covered a lot of points, but basically to recap and kind of go over things, what are your priorities and plans for the West Bloomfield School District in light of this new budget overall?
We're going to take a look at the long-term sustainability and to see how this impacts us going into the next fiscal year, 25-26. We're going to continue to advocate, though, to ensure that Senate Bill 911 is pushed through so that we can ensure that funding stays with us for the foreseeable future. And we're going to continue to lead in terms of student data driving our decision making in terms of ensuring that we're meeting the needs of every student within the West Bloomfield School District.
Yep, having that open ear, listening to the suggestions, anything that the community needs, the students need, parents need, I believe that's key right there. Thank you again for your insight, your information, and more importantly, your time. Superintendent of the West Bloomfield School District, Dr. Danya Bazzi, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Once again, great key information to share with our residents right here in the greater West Bloomfield area that will affect our students going into the next year. So we will continuously keep you updated as we have more information right here on the Splash Live. Now, the Great Start Readiness Program is a program that is state funded and is a preschool program available for children who will be turning 4 years old during the upcoming school year. So join us right here on the Splash Live, consultant for early childhood at the District and School Services for Oakland Schools. We have Krista Shamblo. Thank you so much for being here first and foremost.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, so I want to just kind of first and foremost start off with you elaborating a little bit more about the primary goals of the GSRP or the Great Start Readiness Program. Can you just get into that, please?
Sure. So the goals of GSRP are to provide high quality and free preschool for eligible 4-year-olds in Michigan, including West Bloomfield. And it benefits the community by offering a very safe place where children learn how to get along with others. They're making friends. They, of course, learn skills in various content areas, including math and reading. And they're involved in hands-on, very playful activities with very skilled teachers. And one important goal is just through those beautiful experiences to ensure that children enter kindergarten not only with these foundational skills, but also with a love of learning and a can-do spirit.
Okay. I'm gonna have to pick your brain a little bit more as we go on, Chris, because I have a 2 going on 3-year-old, so I definitely gonna need some more information from you. But just kind of getting a little bit more into the Great Start Readiness Program, how does the high scope preschool curriculum specifically kind of support the early childhood development?
Yeah, so in West Bloomfield, the GSRP program utilizes the high scope curriculum. The high scope curriculum has been around since the 60s. It's tried and true, and I'm a huge supporter of it and a trainer for high scope. In fact, teachers of GSRP in West Bloomfield come to trainings and they're very involved and keep their training alive. What the high scope curriculum does, it supports each child's learning and growth by first and foremost honoring children's current strengths, needs, and their interests. And then teachers using the high scope approach, it's such a thoughtful curriculum. They work with families and then they use their own daily observations to understand each child's current abilities in 8 domains of learning. And then they individualize or they tailor the curriculum by developing really interesting activities and having very responsive interactions with children during the school day that not only meet the child's current development, but they gently extend their development to higher levels. So I'll give an example. Let's say a family shares that their child has been helping to sort laundry at home. Okay. The skilled teaching team, and they work together as a team. There's 2 teachers in the classroom. They'll take that information and they'll design activities by blending children's interests with their learning. So the teachers may have observed that, let's say, children in their class have been really interested in using the toy dinosaurs. And they want to focus and extend the child's sorting abilities because that's the information they received, let's say, from the family. So they may offer dinosaurs in different shapes and colors and have children sort in different ways and extend that type of learning. So it's a beautiful curriculum. Children are eager and engaged in their learning activities, and they're playful and they're based on their interests. That's the key.
Without me even being a teacher, just being a parent, I know you want to kind of capture their attention by doing something that's fun that they already like to do, but then sneaking in some learning in there, or like you say, sneaking in some vegetables in there to kind of make them a little bit better. But join us right here on the Splash Live, a consultant for early childhood for Oakland schools. We have Chris DeChambeau just talking about the Great Start Readiness Program and how it's beneficial for our West Bloomfield kids here. Now, let's get into the teacher involvement, right? What type of strategies are being used by the Great Start Readiness Program teachers to kind of actively stay involved with these children?
Yeah, so what they do to remain actively involved with children is to observe them on a daily basis, like I mentioned. Young children's growth, especially for 4-year-olds, it's very rapid. And so regular observation of children's interests, their needs, their strengths is really a must. Another way that teachers remain actively involved is by having that constant communication with family members. So the GSRP teachers respect the fact that children are developing primarily in the home context, and they seek that important information from families that help them be then sensitive in their approaches. So they're active constantly through observation, parent communication and contact, and their own reflection on what's working and making sure that the program is working for each child.
Now, how do you feel like that directly affects the students' learning experience overall with that strategy being said?
Yeah, well, it impacts children's learning experience because Each interaction and activity is customized and special for each child. And so teachers are fitting the program to every single child based on, like I said, their interests, strengths, and needs. But being observant and being responsive has impacts on children's learning because teachers are in touch with what children need that day in that moment. And it creates a sensitive climate for learning.
Yeah. And like I always say too, it's a village, right? We can't put the responsibility of learning solely on our teachers. We as parents actually have to have a role in that also. Can you talk about how parents can best support their children's learning and development who are part of the Great Start Readiness program?
You're right. It's a true partnership between home and school. I think parents can support their child's learning and development by having open communication with their child's teacher in the program. They can be supported by helping their child's teacher establish learning goals during the preschool year. So the teachers do seek input from families. And then also, trying out some simple strategies that are provided by the teaching team. So for example, a teaching team may offer powerful tips on how families can share a book or a reading experience and how it's important to talk about what's happening in the pictures of the book, to have conversations while reading. So just staying connected with the teachers and the program. There's really so many opportunities for families to become involved in their child's learning. I think one of the most important ways to become involved is by participating in home visits and family conferences, which are offered through the GSRP program. Families are invited to share their gifts and talents. There's so many wonderful families in West Bloomfield who are encouraged and welcomed into the program to share, what they have, their resources. The program also hosts special events for families to socialize, to learn together about the program and receive parenting support. And then there's also leadership opportunities too for families to join where program decisions are made and they have a voice. So lots of ways to be involved, directly with the child and then throughout the program.
No excuses, parents. No excuses. That's what she basically just said.
Right.
So many different ways that you can get involved with the children at the Great Start Readiness program. Last but not least, how do we know it's working? How are you measuring success and effectiveness and progress with the children who participate at the Great Start Readiness program?
Yeah, so we measure impact on a number of ways. Because teachers are observing children on a daily basis, they document those observations and they perform assessments on children from the beginning of the year all the way through to the end. And I just looked at, for example, West Bloomfield scores. So these scores are reported to the program and then to us, Oakland County. And in particular, West Bloomfield, it's impressive. They made huge strides and gains in the areas, in all areas, but especially in the areas of science, how children understand the natural and physical world. So we can look in actually in Oakland County, even the directors at West Bloomfield at any point in time and see how the impact that they're making in learning.
Interesting. Okay. Now we're talking about a lot. I like that right there. Last but not least, just give people very, very briefly and quickly how they can learn more or sign their children up for the Great Start Readiness program here in West Bloomfield.
Yes, so we can't stress enough our care coordination line, and they can text or pick up the phone and call. And our number is 844-456-5437. And these care coordinators will listen to the families and fit them with a program that meets their needs. To be eligible for GSRP currently, I'll just give an example, like a family of 4 making about $124,000 a year is eligible. And there's also spaces for families with no income limits. So the number that I provided, you can text, you can, call that number. Once again, it's 844-456-5437. And not only will they help families locate a program in their area that meets their needs, but that line is also excellent for any parenting resources, any questions or concerns, and also to be connected with our developmental screening, which is the ASQ. So it's a wonderful hub. It's the Help Me Grow program through Oakland. And when they're calling Oakland County, but we will connect them to a West Bloomfield program if that's what they're needing.
Perfect. We appreciate your time. I could pick your brain as a parent for like 20 more minutes, but I got to let you go. We appreciate you so much again. Director, or I should say consultant for early childhood at the District and School Services for Oakland Schools, Krista Shambo. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We love being the resource for all things right here, Greater West Bloomfield. Find out more on their Facebook, OS Michigan, for more information regarding that. Now, July specifically is Parks and Rec Month, and we actually like to celebrate with our WB Parks, and they're doing so much. They actually are all smiles because they are looking to celebrate by having you join their team. They are looking to actually hire more people right here at WB Parks. They're hiring for a number of positions, by the way, including Senior Services Manager, park technicians, mechanics, and even a part-time mascot. You might have some competition with me, by the way. So find out more about everything that they have going on with those positions, full-time, part-time, etc. Go directly to their website, wbparks.org/employment for more information. Speaking of more information, we have a lot more for you right here on the Splash Live, so make sure you stay tuned. We will continuously be your source for information. As always, we are live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.